Just waiting for my YouTube stream to show me that it's working. You might be able to hear me. I've kind of noticed like last week that it seemed to actually be streaming and connected when my end said it wasn't. So I'm just going to give it a second here. And if it doesn't do anything, then we're going to pretend from my end that it's actually working, and hopefully it actually is working. So we'll just give it about 30 seconds to a minute here, and then we'll get started. I'm sitting here in the gym where it gets a little toasty sometimes, especially because we don't run the air as much when kids aren't in the building. So if you see the sweat dropping off my face, I apologize for that. All right, let's go ahead and get started then. We're ready to start on Monday. We're excited to have the kids back. Teachers started back officially this Wednesday. We've been able to come together in a few different meetings, go over protocols and procedures and brainstorm ideas. As hard as I've been thinking about everything, teachers had some really great ideas too. So we have just been working really hard to make sure that we've got everything in place for Monday and have some really good ways to mitigate all of the risks for COVID-19. So really looking forward to seeing about 250 kiddos on Monday morning coming in for live instruction. We'll certainly miss there'll be a void in our school this year with all those kiddos off to remote learning, as well as some staff changes that we've had because of that. And I'll share those with you today too. So let's start by talking about how things are going to work and look on Monday. So when you arrive on Monday, so a couple things you need to know is, first of all, let's talk about the timing of things. No kid should be coming to this building before 7:45. They will not be allowed in. And the problem with that is then they start congregating outside. And even though they're outside, they'll be congregating and playing with each other, because that's what kids do, and talking, and with no supervision. So not only is that a safety issue, but that's definitely also a huge concern as far as transmission goes. So no kiddos before 7:45. Now, starting at 7:45, the only kids that can come to school at 7:45 are kids that are eating school breakfast. The reason for that is we just don't have enough capacity in our cafeteria to house the breakfast kiddos and all other kiddos. So from 7:45 to 7:55, only kiddos who are eating. Now, they will come in the northeast door on the Wyoming side, and we will certainly have a staff member there with the door open to welcome them in. We'll bring them down the stairs into the cafeteria. They'll get take and go. We'll seat them at the cafeteria tables, every other seat. If we have to, hopefully we can spread them out more than that. It just depends on volume of kiddos coming in for breakfast. They're all going to be facing the same direction, so across from each other. Towards another kid. So everything we can do to mitigate those risks, we're going to do. So all facing the same area from 9:45 to 9:55. Once we get staff available throughout the building to supervise, so that really opens things up for us. So starting at 9, I said 9. Must still be on summertime. I don't know. Okay, 8:45 to 8:55. Breakfast in the cafeteria. No other kids allowed at school except for those eating breakfast. Starting at 8:55, then any student can come in. And we're still serving breakfast too. So breakfast kids don't have to come at, my times are messed up. Okay, we're starting over. Okay, breakfast time. Only kids that are eating breakfast, 7:45 to 7:55. Kids that are not eating breakfast can come as from 7:55 up to 8:10. Kids that are eating breakfast are not locked into that 7:45 to 7:55 as well. But from 7:55, kids who are coming in for breakfast, coming through the northeast door on the Wyoming side, you come straight down the cafeteria, get their grab-and-go style breakfast, and we'll seat them at the cafeteria table, spread out as much as we can. Now, if for some reason we get to capacity in the cafeteria, then we will have a staff member take the kiddos up to the gym to eat their breakfast or finish their breakfast until 7:55. I don't think that we'll actually have to do that. I think we'll have plenty of space in there for that 10-minute window. If you're concerned about that, then just have your kiddo come at or after 7:55. Starting at 7:55, kiddos who are coming for breakfast will still come through the northeast cafeteria door on the Wyoming side. So any kiddo eating breakfast comes through that door. Now, the next part I'm going to go over, please listen carefully because I'm going to give you a little bit of direction on what doors the other kids are coming in, because we're not all coming through the front door like we have in the past years. So kindergarten parents, your kiddos will come through the front door. So in the morning, we can be a little flexible with using the bus lane for drop-off. We do have 3 school buses that will come through, and if they are coming, so if you see them coming, we need you to stay out of their way because they work tight schedules, and we want to make sure that we're not causing a domino effect across the district for transportation by causing those buses to run behind schedule. Okay, so you kindergarten parents, you may pull into the bus lane. We want you parked at the very back of that bus lane, closest to Wyoming as possible. For the first few days, at least, we have some volunteers that are going to help us unload those kindergartners and get them in the building. Now, ultimately, walking your kiddo over, parking, somewhere on the on-street parking or over at the church across the street would be ideal. So walk them over if you can. If you absolutely have to do kind of a drop and go, then for kindergarten, first part of the bus lane, parking towards the first part of that bus lane as much as you can. Okay. If you see buses coming, then we need to reserve that bus parking for them. So you may want to circle around the block and then come back, or go park over at the church parking lot and walk them over. Okay, that's kindergarten. Now, first and second grade. If you have first or second graders that you are just dropping off, we want you to come east down Wyoming from 5th. We want you to enter our parking lot, and we want you to head towards the alley. We will have signs and we will have volunteers out there. We'll be opening a gate kind of by our basketball court area there, and those volunteers will be helping those kiddos, those first and second graders, get out of the cars, and they're going to come in the southwest playground door. Okay, so it's right by our south playground. They're going to come in that door, first and second grade. Third grade parents, you will also come down Wyoming, turn into our parking lot, but you're not going to the alley. You're going to go through our parking lot, and we're going to have our third graders come through the parking lot door. Now, again, if you can walk over, that is ideal. And especially with our older kiddos, it would actually be best if parents walked them to the corner and then let them cross and come into school. And parents stay on the other side of the street, so we're not having a lot of mixed patterns of traffic. We're not having people congregating around the school, and we're just trying to do everything we can to keep everybody safe. So again, third graders will come in the parking lot door, and we will have signage. We will have staff and volunteers throughout those areas as well as at those doors. Now, 4th and 5th grade parents, you are going to use the very end of the bus lane. And again, if you see a bus coming, please get out of the way. That bus lane is there for them. So we need to be very flexible with that. So again, 4th and 5th graders, they'll get out of the car. They're going to come into the playground on the southeast side through that gate, and then they're going to enter that southeast door up to their classrooms. Okay. Now again, that goes for the kids that are not eating breakfast. Kids that are eating breakfast all need to come through the northeast door on the Wyoming side. Probably wondering, okay, first day of school, kids have all we've been asked to bring. How are our kindergartners or our first graders or even our second graders going to? So we have a plan for that. Is we will have carts and staff of our doors. We will label their supplies with their first and last name and their teacher. We'll collect supplies and put them on our carts. And then after all the kids at the school grounds, then staff will bring those carts in with the supplies to all of those classrooms. We are not allowing parents or in a foreseeable future. School, you may come off allowing parents to go see down to the classrooms. We're not allowing parents to come in and use. We are keeping our school as germ-free as possible, and only allowing students and staff to enter past the office. So we also we'll talk about what happen if a kiddo has symptoms and how we'll go about picking them up. So I'm just jotting that note down. I don't want to forget to talk about that. All right, so and kindergarten. Very end of the bus lane to drop those kiddos off, and they will come in the southeast. Now, parents, when you're dropping off your kiddos, it's got to be okay. So items are they need to get their seatbelt off, open the door, and go, and we need you to give that wave goodbye, and then we need you to exit. That will help us keep things efficient. So we can't have you know, pulling in and then packing the backpack and tying the shoes and giving the kisses goodbye because we have 250 students that we need to do this for. And so if everybody's doing that, it's going to be very inefficient and it just won't work. Okay. It goes, and maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, we might say midweek, like, okay, this is not working at all. I have to have everybody, you know, on Wyoming, or we're not allowing parents to park in the bus lane, or, you know, things. So just please help make this work. I'm confident that it will work. A lot of thought has gone into this, not by me, but by some other key individuals, and the plan is good, and I think it will work. So right now I'm just going to do a screen share because I want to show just kind of a visual representation of what this will look like. Okay, and actually let's go full screen on that so we get a better view. So here's our school. Here's our school. Here's our parking lot. Okay. So here is our alley, right? Okay. Here's 5th Street West. Here's Wyoming. And here's 4th Street West. So on Monday, when you come, we want everybody traveling this way. So coming down Wyoming, okay, first, second, and third grade, you're going to pull into here. First and second grade, you're going to continue to the alley. Now, right on that corner is where our gate is. That's where we're going to be allowing kids out into the gate. And then, so this is first and second grade, and into this entrance here. Okay, third grade, coming in the parking lot, going through the parking lot. This is going to be the exit zone. So there's parking spaces all the way through here, and parking all the way through here. So please, please, please go very slow. Be very observant. Watch and listen for kids. And then let's do a quick drop off. And then also be very careful right where the sidewalk is, watching for kids and staff here as well. Okay. Now, when you exit, please exit heading east, just to keep the traffic flow moving. Kindergarten parents, so two ways that you can access. One, if you come down Fourth, you won't have to worry about all this first, second, and third grade traffic, and you should be able to get across here. Here is our bus lane. So kindergarten parents, we want you on this end of the bus lane. We'll unload those kinders, and we'll get them in this door here, okay? Parents, you may not exit your cars when you are doing any of these drop-offs. The only way you can exit your car is if you go find a parking spot somewhere else and then exit. Okay, again, if you see buses coming, we really need you to get out of their way. All right, fourth and fifth grade parents, same thing. You can come around this way or come down Fourth. You're gonna park up here, let those kiddos out here, and they're gonna go in this entrance here, okay? Now this, across 4th Street here is the church. So if you're gonna utilize their parking lot, we ask that you come up from Broadwater heading west and then pull into their parking lot over here and park. We also ask that you don't use their parking spots right next to their building. We need to reserve those for some of the older folks that work in that church on a daily basis. Okay. We need to respect that property over there, so make sure you don't have garbage falling out of your car, kids aren't leaving things behind, we're not blaring our music or any of those kinds of things that we've seen happen in the past. So it's a privilege for us to be able to use their parking lot, and I don't want that to be taken away. So please help us out there. All right, so again, if you're walking your kids over, you're not going to use any of these routes. You're going to go park somewhere on Wyoming or 4th Street West, or over the church parking lot. Then you're going to walk over using our 4th Street West and Wyoming crosswalk guard. Okay. Right now, I only have crosswalk guards for 4th Street West there, and then 5th and Broadwater. I would love to have one at this intersection. So if anybody is interested, either on a volunteer basis or you would like to be hired and paid for that position, please contact me. So I hope we're good with the plan on how to get to school on Monday. Also, hear that we will have carts of with kids' names, and we'll have labels too. So if you forget, not going to be a huge deal. We're just all those kiddos get their supplies. All right. So the other deal with supplies too, if you're not able to, walk your kiddos up, they can bring supplies in their backpack on Monday, and then again on Tuesday, and then again on Wednesday. So if you can't fit them all in the backpack on Monday, we don't need all the supplies on that first day. But throughout that first week, you can just fill the backpack every day. Okay. All right. I will be sharing this out via email. As well. The other thing is the lunch menu. So let's talk. So obviously, we can't be putting all of our kids in the cafeteria and mixing them up and eating. So our plan is to eat outside as often as possible. We know that the transmission rates of the virus decline tremendously in areas. So being outside as often as we can. So what we're going to do is our Sodexo staff has been gracious enough to meals